This is dedicated to the niggas that was down from day one. Welcome to Death Row.
Like we always do about this time.
Hold on, I'm really on my back-to-back stuff. Wait, hold on.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to three adult quadruple true clown horror stories. You're the clown, so it's about you.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to three true clown horror stories. Animated, created by MJV, original video in the description. Now, if y'all didn't check out the last one, I did 4 true phone horror stories. It was crazy. Check it out. But yeah, let's get straight to this. Is he Asian?
This story takes place in 2016 on a nice warm summer day.
Shit was scary.
I was out for a walk, enjoying my time off from school and work, just getting some fresh air. Any time away from work and school was a good day for me. I didn't like the job I worked at very much, and I was a bit of a loner in school, and I didn't have many friends. I would get bullied quite frequently, so that right there, I suppose, would be more than enough of a good reason for me to hate school. Anyways, I don't want to get off topic here, so back to the story.
Yeah, nigga, back to the motherfucking story.
I was walking through this trail, and I had been walking for just over 5 minutes, I'd say.
My feet.
When all of a sudden, I heard something in the woods.
So you're just
I
walking
genuinely
through
didn't
the
think
woods?
much of it at all, as it most definitely wasn't uncommon to hear a squirrel, or maybe a bird or something every now and then. The sound continued for at least a minute, and the longer time went on, the more muffled the sound would become. Whatever it was clearly moving in the same direction as me, but much faster.
Yeah, you ever thought somebody's behind you or
I kept
watching
walking,
you?
still not thinking much of the situation. I was approaching a curve in the trail that took a sharp left turn, and almost as soon as I made it past the curve in the trail, that's when I
Cauliflower
saw
ears.
him. There was a guy that was dressed up as a clown. I paused for a
Does he have a
second, and I
weapon?
stood there just looking at him. He was standing directly in the middle
You're a
of the
little bitch. Real quick, I don't know if y'all remember this, but 2016, the clown terrifying epidemic was insane. Because the movie Terrifier, I think the first Terrifier came out in 2016. Either because Art the Clown, he has 5 movies actually. Either the first Terrifier came out in 2016 or All Halloween's Eve, whatever that movie is called, with him on the poster of the movie, came out in 2016. I think it's Terrifier 1. And when Terrifier came out, people were going insane because of how he was a clown just messing folks up. So then people just decided they thought it would be funny to dress up as clowns and to terrify people, especially when it came to young kids. So that was the whole entire premise of the 2016 thing. And then, yeah, I mean, they only did it like, when that whole entire thing went on, I've never heard about like an adult, or at least a grown-ass man or a group of adults getting attacked by a clown or clowns. I never heard about that, because I'm pretty sure if that would have happened, they would have got their ass beat or fucking shot.
I don't know if you guys know about this or remember, but I'm sure you do. Just in case you don't, I want to briefly go over it.
On my face.
Back in 2016, there was a huge trend going around.
That's what I just
were
talked
dressing up
about.
as clowns all
This
throughout
nigga
the
repeating
world,
what I'm
especially in
saying.
America. Most of them were just harmless teenagers who were being angsty and trying to scare people and get a good laugh or
I
whatever.
told y'all.
But there were people out there who had much more devious intentions.
Yeah, there were some sick-ass
I've
people,
also
bro.
heard some pretty horrible things that happened on the news, where clowns had been caught trying to kidnap or even physically harming innocent people. Anyways, I was taken aback by this when I saw the clown face to face. But I didn't want to seem
What's
like I was
the
scared,
phobia when you're scared of clowns?
because if he did have ill intentions, which honestly I highly doubted at the time, I didn't want to give him what he wanted,
Crying
which
like a little
scared
hoe.
me obviously. He didn't seem to be armed either, so I was sure I could take him should he try to
Cat,
pull something
what the
crazy.
fuck?
like
You
try to
would have
hurt
got
me or
slammed on
whatever.
your neck.
We made awkward eye
Shit would've
contact
been
for a
looking like
moment,
this,
and
boy.
neither of us said a word. Not until I worked up the courage to ask him who he was. Hello, Who are you?
Bro, I would have squabbled up, bro. Squabble up then. Squabble up
At
then.
this point, I realized
If you really about
time
it,
to go.
and then I would have hit that
The
nigga
man
with a
was
fucking
staring at me,
hammer.
hadn't moved a muscle. He then began walking towards me, and I took a few steps back.
Look.
Remembering
Pussy.
that I didn't want to seem scared, I said screw it and began walking towards him as well.
Wow. You're
As
really
we were getting
bold.
closer to each other, my heart rate increased more and more. He seemed to stop when we were right next to each other, but I kept walking, all while not looking back. Not even
Crazy.
once. I then
Crazy.
chuckled to myself when I realized I fully made it past him and he was completely out of sight, because I realized I got all worked up for nothing. Anyways, I finished with my walk, and I didn't see the clown again for the rest of my walk. Fast forward to the evening, I was sitting at home making dinner, when all of a sudden, I thought that I heard something come from outside.
Stalked you. Too busy
I
taking
opened
your
the
eyes
sliding
off the
glass
target.
door that was in my living room and stuck my head out and scanned my backyard with my eyes. Nothing. There was nobody at all
He
in
stalked
sight.
you, he just ironically just
There were
found
many
your
blind
house.
spots that someone may have been hiding, mind you, from where I was positioned, but I chalked it up to be just my imagination and that I was overthinking.
And then he didn't even tell, bro, get this nasty ass burger off my screen. Please.
But I chalked it up to
guarantee
be
he
just
didn't
my
tell his
imagination
parents,
and
bro.
that I was overthinking.
What's the point of having parents if you can't go talk to
I shut
them?
the door and locked it and continued making dinner.
Especially when it has to do with safety or your
Couldn't have
life.
been more than 2 or 3 minutes
Like, I
later
get there's
that
some
heard an
bum-ass
aggressive,
parents out there, but
heavy-sounding
come on,
knock that
bro.
came from my kitchen window. I quite literally jumped out of fear and I hit my head on the cupboard that was above me.
Zoinks!
That was when I legit started to have a panic attack.
Like Big Hero 6.
Let me tell you, I didn't know fear until this moment. This was by far the most frightened I had ever felt in my life. I grabbed the knife that was sitting next to me on the counter and I tried to look out the window, but it was too dark for me to see anything at all. I rushed to my back patio light and I turned it on immediately. The second I turned on the light and before I was about to open the sliding glass door, I saw him. It was the same clown from earlier. He was standing right there on my back patio, only a few feet away from me. Looking back, I wish I would have ran out there and stabbed him or something, or at the very least,
He
scared
would
him
have
off.
fucked you
But I
up,
didn't.
bro. I put all my money on that clown. He would have
It's hard to
fucking
say what
tore
you
your
would do
little
in a
ass
certain
up.
situation
Pause.
until you're in said situation. Trust me. I ran upstairs to my room and I locked myself in the bedroom and
Loser.
proceeded to call the police. The knocking sounds continued and I could hear them all the way from upstairs. I had no idea who it was or why they were harassing me or how they even knew where I lived. But something tells me, even still to this day, that it was someone that knows me, which makes it all the more personal and scary if you ask me.
I feel like
I waited for the police to get there, which
wait.
felt like an hour. They actually arrived fairly quickly though and made it here in less than 10 minutes, give or take. The knocking continued and it grew louder and louder as time went on. Then I about shit myself when the clown started laughing in this very delirious, insane type of laugh. I literally
That
thought
sound
I
like
was
my
just
laugh.
waiting to die. I thought that at any second the man was
my
going
gosh,
to
that's the
break in
thumbnail
and
right
attack
there.
me, that I was going to have to put up a fight.
you would have
I
lost
thought to
that
myself
fight.
over and over how if he really wanted to, I'm sure he could just break through just about any of my windows in the house and let himself in that way. Finally, I heard police sirens in the distance, and they finally arrived only a handful of seconds after. One of the officers knocked on the door, and I rushed down there immediately to let him in. Of course, looking through the peephole first to make sure it wasn't the clown. I let him in and I spoke with him while the other officers searched for the clown. I couldn't believe it, but the clown was gone. Out of sight and out of mind, I guess. That's the way I like to look at it, because I haven't had a single incident ever since with any more clowns. Or anyone at all for that matter. Sometimes, even thinking back about this story, I can't believe that this in fact happened to me. You never think something this horrific will happen to you until it does.
My
Things
gosh.
could have ended way differently hadn't the cops shown up so quick. In this case, these cops legit saved my life.
Okay, what do I think about that story? He was absolutely right getting the knife, and I don't I feel like with a home invasion, say like you're in your crib and somebody's trying to get into your home and you leave or like go to a quote unquote safer spot. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like wouldn't it be, especially the person doesn't have a weapon and you're able to go and get a kitchen knife. Wouldn't you like have to jump on them easier, if that makes sense? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, say like you're at a 2-story, your home is 2-story, and you're in the kitchen, and somebody's trying to enter through the backyard door, and you grab a kitchen knife, and they're like kicking down the door or busting the window down, and somehow like they're easing their way into the like. Wouldn't you have to jump on them instead of just you running up, locking yourself in the bedroom, and then them getting a weapon, and then them putting? I don't know. Maybe it's because me. I prefer to stand my ground. I mean, what he did wasn't wrong. I get, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, him turning his back on that clown was crazy. You shouldn't even continue going straight. You should have just, you shouldn't even be walking through the woods by yourself.
My name is Edgar, and this happened last year.
Oh, what are you, Mexican?
I was walking to a nearby carnival that was going on near my house last summer to meet up with my friends. The city has been doing this carnival for us every year, ever since I can remember. And I like to go at least once or twice a year. I'm one of those kids that likes to stay inside and play video games in my free time. So it's nice to get out and do something that's actually fun for a change.
Facts, Jeff.
The town I live in has nothing fun to do at all. There is almost nothing to do. And all the other cooler and bigger cities are over an hour away. And I don't have my license yet. Nor do I have a whole lot of friends that would be willing to do this kind of stuff with me.
Loser.
Most of my friends are also introverted themselves, and we would much rather play video games online, rather than actually go and hang out with each other in person.
Loser.
As antisocial as I am, though, it's in our human nature to socialize. I get quite bored sometimes just sitting at home, so this was supposed to be us friends having a nice evening. When I got there and I found my friends, Nathan and Oscar, we rode some rides, played some of the carnival games, and even got ourselves some snacks. It was quite fun and we were all having a good time. After a little while, we kind of ran out of things to do, so we started pondering the idea of leaving and just going home. Nathan said he wanted to stay a little bit longer before we left, and I was okay with that.
And the last part I told you I did cupping.
So what do you guys want to do?
Y'all see?
I asked.
Hold on.
Well, we can go see what's going on over there in that tent, Nathan said.
I can't
there was a circus tent that we hadn't explored yet. And that was going to be the last thing we did before we took off, I imagined. So we headed over there, and when we got inside, we saw that there were a group of clowns performing on the stage. They were dancing, juggling, and one of them was riding a unicycle.
Guy. This shit.
We decided we wanted to get closer to the stage, so we made our way up to the front. After watching them for a little while, we were getting bored and we were about to leave. But just before we were about to leave, the clown that was riding the unicycle slipped and fell. His red clown nose fell off and landed right next to me. I hurried to pick it up and I put it in my pocket, not thinking too much about it.
Why would you give it back to him?
I figured he had plenty more of those sponge-like noses, so I didn't think twice about taking it.
Yeah, no, you
and I really didn't think that the clown would care. He got back up and continued performing like nothing happened, after he made a quick joke about falling.
His arms so long.
I didn't think the clown noticed I picked up his nose until he turned his head and made prolonged eye contact with me. I thought that was weird and it kind of made me uncomfortable, but I figured he was just messing around. I told Nathan and Oscar that I was ready to leave.
What are you gonna do with his nose in the first place? Like,
Nathan's mom was already waiting for him in the parking lot, and Oscar had to walk a completely different way to get home than I did. So we said our goodbyes and off we went.
Bro, what? You're telling me bro's mom picked his son up, didn't offer these two little niggas a ride, nor did she even sit there and wait for at least their parents to come get them. Alright, bro said that he has to walk home. I'm not sure what bro's about to say. She didn't even at least offer these two a ride. She should have. But yeah, she just grabbed her son and just left these two just stranded here. Are you? Oh my gosh. It just burns me up, bro. Oh my gosh. I'm about to eat a snail.
I took the clown nose out of my pocket and I was playing with it and just looking at it because I had never seen one in real life before.
Time of your life.
I thought it was kind of cool that I had it because it was kind of like a souvenir for me to keep. Suddenly, I heard a slight chuckle. I had already been quite a ways from the carnival and all of the people. Or so I thought anyways. It really spooked me and jump scared me at first.
Do people now have spidey senses?
It wasn't like a normal laugh.
My spidey senses would have been tingling.
It was extremely creepy.
I would have known somebody was coming towards me, bro.
When I turned around, all I could see was a dark, shadowy figure that looked like a person. I shined my flashlight over towards them, and almost right away, I noticed that it was one of the clowns from the carnival.
I believe you have something of mine.
Oh, shit.
The clown said. The way he sounded when he said that was just absolutely petrifying.
Bro.
He barely sounded like a human. Almost like an entity or a damn demon of some sort. I'm not saying he was a ghost. All I'm saying was, I knew right then and there that something horrible was about to happen. I slowly backed away and told the clown that I didn't have anything of his and to please leave me alone.
Well, if you aren't going to give me my nose back, I'm going to need yours then.
After that, he took out what looked like to be a Phillips screwdriver and pointed it at me.
What the fuck?
It was at that exact moment that I started
screw
running
me, nigga?
as
Pause.
fast as I could, and I didn't look back once, literally.
I'm
I ran through the woods rather than taking the road home because I knew a shortcut through the trails that led into my neighborhood. That might have been a risky move on my part, but I was thinking in the moment, and I made a split-second decision. I'm not even sure how long he chased me for because that's how fast I ran. He was a bigger guy, so I doubt he could have ran as fast as me anyways. I told Mom exactly what happened when I got home, and she told me we should call the police. We called them, and they showed up to our house, and we talked about what happened to me. They said they couldn't do much as they had no idea what the man looked like.
Yeah, plus your ass ain't hurt.
It really
either.
upset me because I feel like there was something we could have done.
Exactly. Police don't do nothing until somebody or something is hurt
that we could call and get
or
a hold
damaged.
of.
Not even
So
damaged. So somebody's hurt.
But we were never able to find out who it was. I definitely won't be going back to that carnival ever again.
Who the fuck still goes to carnivals too? Like, am I just shitting on him?
Hey, you can't do that.
Oh, Rob, hold on. Oh, swole ass. I'll beat your ass. I'm joking. That nigga would choke slam me.
This story also takes place
I ain't no
back
easy
in
win.
2016 in the clown era.
Oh.
I was sitting at home one night, lying in bed, looking at my phone
Your
before
socks
bed.
on.
It was late, and it was way later than I would usually stay up, but I remember that night I couldn't sleep for whatever reason. But luckily it was the weekend, so I didn't have to be awake at 5:30 in the morning the next
The artist?
day. I was lying there about to drift off to sleep when all of a sudden I got this strange feeling that felt like I was being watched. Evidently I'm not insane and my intuition was correct, because when I put my phone down and looked around my room, as my eyes glanced over my bedroom window that was right next to my bed, I saw the face of a clown peering at me with his face up against the glass. Now of course, this scared the living shit out of me and I immediately screamed. I ran out of my room and I went to find my dad. He was actually awake to my surprise.
The hell going on?
Probably because he heard me scream from across the other side of the house. I told him how there was a man dressed up as a clown in our backyard and that was why I screamed. I've always been terrified of clowns, but man, this mask that he was wearing was quite creepy and disturbing. It almost didn't even look like a mask, it was all too realistic. My dad, of course, ran outside looking for the clown, and he looked around outside for over 5 minutes, but there was no one to be found. Not a single clown or person in sight. My dad told me that I was just having a bad dream and to go back to sleep.
Loser parent.
But I told him I
Loser
wasn't
parent,
dreaming
bro.
and that I was sure that there was
Loser
really a
fucking
clown there
parent.
and that I'm not just
Bro, if you guys ever become parents, bro, don't, bro, what your kid tells you, don't just brush it off, bro. Take it to the heart, bro. I don't care if it's your kid says there's somebody, a monster underneath my bed, a monster in my closet, bro. Be a grown ass man or a grown ass woman and fucking check. Like what? Talking about it's just your imagination. Go to sleep. All right. And then that nigga bust through the window and get your daughter. Then what?
There's no way it was a dream because I wasn't even sleeping. Besides, there was literally a whole entire outbreak about these clowns going on all throughout the country. It kind of angered me that my dad wasn't taking this situation very seriously. I went back to my room and I grabbed a knife along the way.
Real shit though. At least you grabbed a knife.
I lied awake in bed once more,
Where's
trying to get my
anxiety
anxiety straight. I even put a blanket over my window, that way the clown wouldn't be able to see inside, should he have come back. I lied there for just under an hour, I would say, and I started to feel better about the situation. Maybe I was just dreaming, I thought. Even though I could have sworn that I hadn't fallen asleep yet.
Dreaming, bro.
Sometimes weird things happen in our sleep stages, and I'm aware of that.
Come on, bro.
So I let myself believe that it was nothing, and that I was just letting it get to my head. Then, as I was finally managing to drift off to sleep for once, I heard this very light and faint tapping sound coming from my window. I immediately awoke in fight or flight mode, and I gained the courage to peek outside. I moved the blanket over to the side, and I poked my right eye out of the window, and I saw a man standing there dressed as a clown.
Nigga look like John Wayne Gacy.
I couldn't see exactly what he was doing, but it looked like he was trying to open the window.
Double entendre, because he was an actual clown.
He was most definitely trying to kidnap me or something, no question about it. At this point, I knew I wasn't dreaming for 100% certainty. I didn't scream this time either, and I wasn't sure if he had saw me or not. I was hoping that he didn't notice that I saw him this time. That way he wouldn't be spooked and run off again. I rushed all the way to my dad as fast as I possibly could. He was sleeping this time, but I awoke him within seconds of arriving in his room. He followed me to my bedroom and looked out the window where the clown was, and there he was. The clown was still there, trying to break in. Holy hell, my dad said. My dad told me to stay put and to call the police. Then he rushed outside, and when he found the clown, he was no longer by the window. He was standing directly in the middle of our backyard with a bat in his...
See, that right there is crazy. Don't go outside. Why would don't leave your perimeter. You don't need to leave your perimeter. Cause the intruder has to come to you. You don't have to go to the intruder in this situation, bro. He has to come to you. You're in your safe zone, which is your house. He's trying to get in it. So let him try to get in it, and then you, bro, beat his ass up.
His hand. My dad
he felt that!
And the clown braced himself, ready for my dad's attack. As my dad got close enough, the masked man took a swing right for my dad. And somehow, my dad managed to get to his side and disarm him.
Oh, shit!
My dad started beating the literal hell out of this guy.
Yeah, give him the illegal elbows like John Jones.
By choking him. My dad let the weird guy go, and only a few minutes later, the cops arrived.
Hell no! I would have had...
We explained everything we could, the best we could to the police. And they even went searching for him. But as far as I know, the police never turned up with him.
Her dad's a G.
We never had another incident like this ever since.
Falcon Bluff!
A message from my dad loud and clear. I wish that weirdo would have
What's
gotten
the MK block? We
though.
perfectly time it and
the most important thing is that nothing happened, and that my father was able to protect me.
MK deception.
I was only 14 years old when this happened, really so that's why I couldn't really stick up for myself so much. My dad really is a true hero.
Facts. At first he was an L. Now he was definitely a W. All right. It's not. All right, y'all. I'm gonna end here once again. This is 3 true clown horror stories created by MJB. Original video will be in the description. If y'all have any true clown horror stories that y'all experienced or somebody else y'all know have experienced, comment down below. Me, I don't. Hopefully I don't have any. But yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed this one, and I will see y'all in the next one. Grayson, out.
Situation, I even, and all of, and it, justice, and even, and all of, and it, situation, I even.